Hi, I'm Lori Grover. In this video, I'd like to talk about one of the most challenging aspects of a divorce that almost every couple faces, which is dividing assets, debts, and property. Why this is so challenging and stressful is because how it's done directly affects quality of life, the ability to survive. Since most people have never had to make these kinds of decisions before, they struggle with knowing what's fair, who should get how much, and what will or won't work once it's all over and they're living on a single income. Well, what happens when these questions don't get properly addressed is that one or both spouses can end up feeling that their agreement is unfair or realize that what they agreed to isn't sustainable, leaving one or both of them unable to live on a single income. In cases where this occurs, it often leads to serious financial struggles. Sometimes the debt load is so high, it may force them into bankruptcy. And unfortunately, this happens frequently, since 20% of all bankruptcies are due to divorce. One of the things I see quite often that leads couples down this road is that when couples decide to get divorced, they tend to get caught up in the emotion of their divorce and get overwhelmed by not knowing what to do. So what they end up doing is either making their best educated guess, they hand the decisions, actually their entire lives, over to someone else, like a lawyer, or in some cases, they end up fighting in court, spending more money on legal fees than what they were actually fighting over. What you may not realize, and you're not alone, is that regardless of how difficult it may seem, how overwhelmed you are, how much debt or how many assets you have, it is possible for you and your spouse to divide what you have in a way that's not only fair, but in a way that you know will be as supportive and sustainable as possible when your divorce is over. The only reason couples won't accomplish this is if they allow their fear, their uncertainty, and the not knowing to take over. Now, what I see a lot of divorcing couples do is they tend to focus all of their attention and their energy on protecting themselves from their spouse, rather than using common sense and good judgment to realize that they're the best ones to determine what's fair and sustainable, to make the decisions. And by putting in the effort of sitting down together to figure it out, they're going to get to keep more of what they're afraid of losing. Now, maybe you're thinking that you can't do this because you and your spouse can't communicate, or you don't talk anymore, and you don't agree on anything. I understand all of that. But these are some of the most important decisions that the two of you will ever make. And if you have the right tools, it's not as difficult as you may think. Money issues were one of my biggest struggles during and after my divorce. I came within a few days of having my home foreclosed on, and I spent years in damage control trying to stabilize my life financially and pay off debt. I was forced to dedicate a lot of time to keeping everything going, time that could have been much better spent, like being able to spend it with my daughter. The single most important thing you can do going into your divorce is set aside your emotions, set aside your fears and uncertainty, and make a commitment that the final decisions you make will leave you and your spouse in the best possible position to start over with a division of your assets and debts that you both feel is fair and you can live with. If you make that commitment, you'll be able to move on without dragging your past with you into your future or carrying around animosity for your ex like so many other divorced people do. Isn't it really worth the effort when you consider how much is at stake? There's no substitute for clarity and peace of mind. Even though you're getting divorced, you and your spouse can make the decision to retain control over your divorce, your decision-making, and what your life's going to be like when it's over. Nothing is more important than that when you're the ones who have to live with the outcome. If you haven't already, I invite you to spend some time on our website. We've provided a lot of valuable information about mediation, divorce and children, the emotional and financial costs of a divorce, and financial security, because we know you have a lot of questions, and to help couples make their divorces easier. I also invite you to call and schedule a no-cost, no-obligation consultation to learn how mediation can help you in your divorce. I don't just help couples get the divorces done. I provide them with a step-by-step process to uncomplicate the process and ensure they end up with the best possible outcome for themselves and their children. My own divorce was a valuable experience that can help you avoid the mistakes I made and allow me to show you the better way. I'm Lori Grover, professional mediator. Thank you for watching.